The day I entered the Forbidden City, the scent of plum blossoms hung heavy in the air. I was just 16, a girl from a provincial official's family, chosen for the Emperor's harem. My heart hammered against my ribs, a mix of fear and a naive, fluttering hope. I remember thinking, perhaps, I could find a sliver of happiness here. A place to call my own in this gilded cage. Little did I know, happiness was a currency more valuable than gold, and far harder to earn. My name is May, and this is my story. Not the story you read in history books, filled with emperors and grand battles. This is the story of the women who lived in their shadow. A story whispered in the secluded courtyards and behind silk screens. The first few months were a blur of lessons. How to walk, how to speak, how to apply my makeup just so. We were taught the art of pleasing, of being a perfect, beautiful object for the Son of Heaven. There were hundreds of us, all flowers in the Emperor's garden, all vying for a single ray of sunlight. The competition was unspoken, but fierce. A misplaced word, a dress slightly less brilliant, could mean being forgotten for a lifetime. My first meeting with the Emperor was on a moonlit night by the Lotus Pond. He wasn't the fearsome dragon from the legends, but a man with a tired smile and lonely eyes. He spoke of poetry and his love for calligraphy. In that moment, he wasn't just the Emperor, he was a person. And I, for a fleeting instant, wasn't just a concubine, I was May. That night, Ifabored May, and my status soared. The eunuchs bowed lower, the other women's smiles grew tighter, and the gifts from my family became more lavish. But with favor came jealousy. The Empress Dowager, a woman whose face was a mask of cold porcelain, watched me with hawk-like eyes. The noble consort, whose beauty was legendary, saw me as a threat. I learned quickly that the battles in the inner court were fought not with swords, but with rumors, subtle poisons, and carefully laid traps. Once, a precious jade bracelet, gifted to me by the Emperor, went missing. Soon after, it was found in the belongings of my closest handmaiden, Lin. She was accused of theft, a crime punishable by a brutal death. I knew she was innocent. Framed by someone who wanted to isolate me, my heart ached. I spent sleepless nights, pulling every string, begging for audiences, and spending my family's fortune to bribe the right officials. I had to prove her innocence, not just for her, but for myself. It was my first taste of real court politics, a dangerous game where a single misstep could lead to ruin. In the end, I managed to uncover the real culprit, a rival concubine who was desperate for attention. Lin was saved, but the incident changed me. The innocent girl who loved plum blossoms was gone. In her place stood a woman who understood the price of survival. I learned to build alliances, to read the hidden meanings in every word, and to wear a smile even when my heart was filled with ice. Years passed. The Emperor's visits became less frequent. New, younger faces filled the palace, their laughter echoing in the halls where I once walked with hopeful steps. I saw my own reflection in their eager eyes and felt a pang of sorrow. I had a son, a prince. He became my world, my sole purpose. Protecting him from the court's dangers was a full-time battle. I taught him to be kind but cautious, to be smart but humble. He was my hope, my legacy. I found solace not in the Emperor's fleeting affection, but in the quiet moments. In my small courtyard, I cultivated rare orchids, finding peace in their silent, beautiful resilience. I formed quiet friendships with other women who, like me, had weathered the storms of the palace. We shared tea, stories, and the unspoken understanding of our shared fate. We were sisters in this beautiful prison, finding strength in each other. One winter, the Emperor fell gravely ill. The palace was thrown into chaos as his sons began to vie for the throne. It was the most dangerous time. The whispers of treason were everywhere. I shielded my son, keeping him away from the political turmoil, reminding him that the dragon throne was a lonely, cursed seat. My years of building a quiet, unassuming reputation paid off. We were overlooked, considered harmless, and in being overlooked, we were safe. The old emperor passed, and a new one ascended the throne. I, now one of the senior dowager consorts, was moved to a quiet palace in the western corner of the Forbidden City. My life of struggle was over. My son was given a title and a fiefdom far from the capital, a blessing I had long prayed for. He was safe. Now, I am an old woman. My hair is silver, and my hands are wrinkled. I spend my days tending to my orchids and watching the seasons change. The palace is still full of beautiful young women, their stories just beginning. Sometimes, a young concubine will visit, seeking advice. I look at them and see myself, all those years ago. I tell them, this palace is a river. You can fight the currents and be swept away, or you can learn to navigate its flow. Find the quiet eddy and let it carry you to a peaceful shore. My life was not a grand romance. It was a story of survival, of a willow tree bending in the wind but never breaking. I entered this city as a girl, hoping for love. I will leave it as a woman who found something more valuable: herself. I learned that strength isn't about power or position. It's about enduring, about finding beauty in the cracks, and about holding on to your own heart when everyone is trying to take it. The plum blossoms still bloom every spring, and their scent no longer fills me with fear, but with a quiet, knowing peace. I survived, and in this gilded cage, that is the greatest victory of all. Thank you for journeying with me through the corridors of the Forbidden City. If my story touched you, please like, share, and subscribe for more tales from the pages of history. See you next time.